When you are young, family feels like the one thing that never changes. You believe that parents will always be there, that siblings will always be close, that children will forever look to you as the center of their world. It seems unshakable, eternal, a bond that nothing could weaken. But as the years pass, as you move through your 60s, 70s, and beyond, you begin to see a different reality. Family does not remain frozen in time. It evolves, it shifts, sometimes in ways that are painful to accept. Yet within these changes are lessons that, if embraced with wisdom, can free you from disappointment and help you live your later years with peace, dignity, and quiet strength. Today, we will explore 5 truths about family after 60 that will change how you see everything. The first truth is one often overlooked, but deeply revealing. Distance can be healthier than forced closeness. One of the most freeing truths you learn after 60 is that sometimes distance is healthier than forced closeness. For much of your life, you may have believed that family must always stay together no matter what. That closeness, even with those who hurt you, was the highest virtue. But as the years go by, you realize that not all relationships nourish you. Some drain you, diminish you, or even cause you harm. You are not required to stay in constant contact with every relative if that contact only brings pain. You do not have to force closeness with children who belittle you, siblings who manipulate you, or cousins who only appear when they need something. Emotional health in old age sometimes requires stepping back. It means choosing peace over proximity. It means understanding that love does not always mean constant togetherness. When you allow distance where it is needed, you protect your spirit. You create space for relationships that bring joy, not exhaustion. You open the door for friendships, neighbors, and communities who appreciate you as you are. Forced closeness is a prison. Chosen distance is freedom. And sometimes it is only when you step back that you finally breathe easily again. The second truth is quite realistic. Money reveals the true face of family. In earlier years, you may have believed that love alone was the foundation of every relationship. But when questions of inheritance, wills, or property enter the conversation, sides of people appear that you may never have imagined. Some relatives continue to treat you with the same warmth, no matter what you own or what you could leave behind. Others, however, begin to measure their closeness to you in terms of what they might gain. Visits become more frequent, words more flattering, not always from love, but from calculation. And when the time comes to divide what you built across a lifetime, disagreements can explode, siblings can turn against one another, and ties that once seemed unbreakable can shatter overnight. For many older parents, this discovery is disillusioning. They realize that to some relatives, their worth lies more in their possessions than in their presence. As painful as that truth is, it also brings clarity. It shows you the importance of making decisions early and protecting yourself legally. It reminds you to test loyalty by how people treat you when money is not in the picture. True love shows itself in the absence of gain. And above all, it teaches you that your wealth was meant to serve your comfort and peace in your later years, not to buy affection or stir conflict. Use what you have to make life easier for yourself. And if you choose to give, do so in ways that do not leave you vulnerable. Because what you pass down is not just property. It is also the example of dignity you set. The greatest inheritance you can leave is not wealth, but the memory of a life lived with integrity. Think for a moment about the way people behave when nothing is on the line. If they treat you with patience, kindness, and genuine care without expectation, then you know their heart. But if their attentiveness grows only when money is discussed, then their true motive reveals itself. It is not about judging harshly, but about protecting yourself from heartbreak. Many older adults find peace once they stop confusing financial obligation with real affection. This separation allows them to give freely when they wish, and to withhold without guilt when necessary. It becomes easier to accept that not everyone's love is unconditional, and that is all right. What matters is that you learn to guard your peace above all else. The third truth is harder to face. Love can fade and loyalties can shift. You may have spent decades sacrificing for your children and family. giving up personal dreams so theirs could thrive. You may have believed that such love guaranteed loyalty that would never change. But as children grow, they create their own worlds. They have spouses, careers, and children of their own. Slowly, the center of their lives moves away from you. The calls become fewer. The visits are shorter. Promises to come by stretch into months. The people who once clung to you for comfort and guidance now live in a world where you are no longer their priority. This does not always mean they love you less. Sometimes, it simply means their energy is divided. But at other times, it does reveal the distance of the heart. Some relatives drift away when they no longer see benefit in maintaining the bond. Others may simply lack the capacity to give back what you once gave to them. Facing this reality can be heartbreaking. You may remember the days when your children reached for your hand every step of the way, when you were the anchor of their lives. To see those days pass can feel like a deep loss. But wisdom lies in releasing the need to measure your worth by how often others reach out. Independence of the heart becomes your shield. Rather than waiting by the phone, rather than counting the days until the next visit, you begin to build a life filled with your own routines, your own joys, your own community. Peace comes not from chasing after the fading attention of others, but from embracing the people who choose freely and genuinely to be present. Even if you live alone, even if some ties grow weaker, your value does not diminish. Your happiness need not be determined by anyone else's loyalty. It is defined by the strength you cultivate within yourself, and by the love you share with those who meet you willingly along the way. This is why older age can be a time of renewal rather than loss. It is the season to plant new seeds of connection, not just with family, but with neighbors, with friends, with like-minded people in your community. These relationships may lack the blood ties of family, but they often hold just as much warmth and loyalty. In fact, because they are freely chosen, they can sometimes feel even more genuine. You discover that loyalty is not about obligation. It is about consistency, care, and presence. And once you accept that family bonds may shift, you can open your heart to new bonds that enrich your days. The fourth truth is sobering but necessary. Respect is not automatic. You must redefine your value. In the past, age itself was a crown. Elders were greeted with honor simply for being older. Their word carried weight. Their presence demanded reverence. Today, the world looks different. In a society obsessed with speed, youth, and technology, age does not always command the respect it once did. You may find yourself ignored at the dinner table, dismissed during conversations, or overlooked in decisions that matter deeply to you. To many older parents, this feels like invisibility. But here lies the key. Respect today is not granted automatically. It is earned by how you live, even in later years. Redefining your value means carrying yourself with dignity and composure. It means staying mentally active, informed, and engaged. It means speaking with calm authority instead of desperation. When others attempt to dismiss you, set boundaries firmly but without bitterness. Refuse to allow anyone to speak to you as though your years carry no meaning. And most importantly, remember that respect is not about what you once did, but about what you represent now. If you carry yourself with resentment, you will be pitted rather than respected. But if you show wisdom, patience, and quiet strength, you will inspire respect, even from those who once overlooked you. Old age is not a decline, it is mastery. You have endured storms your children have yet to face, carried burdens they cannot imagine. Stand in that truth. Do not shrink yourself by begging for approval. Redefine your value, and let your presence alone demand the respect you deserve. Think of respect as something you radiate rather than something you request. When you show resilience, when you continue to grow and adapt, when you refuse to let bitterness define you, others cannot help but notice. And even the younger generations sometimes fail to express it. They absorb the example you set. They see how you carry yourself, and in quiet ways, they will learn from it. You may not always hear the words of appreciation, but your presence can still command honor if you live with grace. And finally, the fifth truth is powerful. Silence becomes your superpower. In younger years, you may have fought for every inch of respect, defended your choices, explained yourself endlessly, or argued to prove a point. But as you grow older, you begin to see that much of this effort changes nothing. Family dramas continue. Relatives misunderstand you. Children at times disrespect you. People gossip, twist your words, or dismiss your feelings. In the past, you may have battled against these things, determined to set the record straight. But the wisdom of age whispers a different path. Peace is worth more than being right. Silence is not weakness, it is mastery. By refusing to be dragged into endless arguments, you protect your health, your mind, and your heart. You learn that you do not need to justify your choices to children who will not listen, nor fight with siblings who thrive on drama, nor explain yourself to anyone determined not to understand. Silence is not defeat, it is dignity. It is a strength. It is the shield that preserves your inner calm. Choosing silence does not mean you cannot fight. It means you have learned that not every battle is worth your energy. In old age, your life speaks louder than words ever could. Your silence declares that your peace matters more than proving yourself. And in that silence, you discover a freedom far greater than any argument could win. There will always be those who interpret silence as surrender. But with time, you come to see it differently. Silence is the mark of someone who has nothing left to prove. It is the armor of wisdom. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop defending every choice, you begin to taste the rare peace that comes only with maturity. Silence becomes not an emptiness, but a fullness, because it protects what truly matters: your dignity, your calm, your health. In conclusion, so these are the 5 truths about family after 60. Distance can be healthier than forced closeness. Money reveals the true face of family. Love can fade and loyalties can shift. Respect is not automatic. You must redefine your value. And silence becomes your superpower. They are not easy truths. They may sting at first, but they are also liberating. Because once you accept them, you stop living in disappointment and start living in dignity. You stop clinging to illusions and begin building peace on your own terms. Old age is not about weakness. It is about wisdom. Not about being forgotten, but about remembering yourself. Not about chasing love, but about creating peace. When you embrace these truths, you realize that even as family dynamics shift, your worth remains unshakable. You are not defined by who stays or who leaves. You are defined by how you carry yourself, how you guard your peace, and how you choose to live each day with dignity and strength.